So hello and welcome to everybody to this Computella 30-minute introduction webinar that we have named Empower Your Attendant on the Teams Journey. So everybody who's in the call, please remember to mute your phone. And also, if you have any questions, please ask them in the chat. We will actually take them after the presentation that Lars will start in a few minutes. The session is recorded and it will be sent to you after the session. So please, next picture, Lars. So who am I? My name is Sofia Svensson. I'm the hostess of this webinar. And I am also working as the Marketing and Communication Manager. With me, I have Lars Fredstedt. He is the main speaker and he is also head of sales in Western Europe. After the webinar, we will send out, or actually I will send in the chat a follow-up survey link so you can please answer and tell you your thoughts about this webinar. Next picture. So this is the agenda of this 30 minutes webinar. If we have a lot of questions, it might be a bit overdrawn, more than 30 minutes, so just you know that. We will talk about Competella, who we are and what we do. Lars will talk or give you a solution overview of our Competella communication suite. He will also perform a live demo on the Computella Attendant Console solution. And that will handle a bit about how to handle calls with Computella Attendant Console, how to add keywords, external contacts, etc., etc. Lars will also walk through the roadmap and talk a bit about the smooth onboarding to Computella communication suite for Teams. And also, of course, mention some of the benefits of the Attendant Console that we have. In the end, as I already mentioned, we will have the Q&A. So please send in your questions in the chat and I will help Lars in the end to answer those ones. So please go ahead, Lars, your turn.
Great, thanks a lot, Sophia. So shortly about Computella, who we are and what we do. Computella is a privately owned company. It was founded in Sweden back in 2009. And we have ever since the company was founded been offering a complete platform, the Computella Communication Suite for the Microsoft Unified Communication Solutions. And for the last 2 years, we have been offering our SaaS-based solution for Microsoft Teams. So that solution includes both contact center and Attendant Console as a service. We also offer professional services, both for our partners as well as end customers. We have in-house support, and we also offer training both for customers and partners. Our solutions are, as previously said, cloud-based. They are offered as a service, and they are located in Microsoft Azure data center, Western Europe region. Our current approximately 700 customers comprise of just around 680,000 persons who are using our solution. We go to market both direct as well as indirect through our partners, typically system integrators as well as telco service providers, and with them we have a global outreach. The Computella Communication Suite for Teams consists of 3 main products. So that is the Computella Contact Center Enterprise, which is our top product you might say. It offers a 360-degree overview for the agents, being able to see the customer journey, have a full overview of other agents, the queue or the queues, multiple queues, service level, as well as a good overview, of course, of the internal organization and their presence. On top of that, and across all our solutions, it also includes both real-time and historical reporting and statistics. The Computella Contact Center Workgroup is our contact center solution that typically replaces the call groups on Teams, and customers looking for a solution that also includes access to advanced statistics and real-time monitoring of queues, plus the ability also to work as a mobile agent would typically be looking for the contact center work group. And the Computella Attendant Console is our switchboard solution. It's typically used by receptionists at either the headquarter or branch offices to receive calls on the main number for the location, interview the caller about the purpose of the call, find the best available person, and do a professional transfer of the caller to the intended person with a good overview of both presence from Microsoft Teams as well as calendar Microsoft Exchange. So now I will move over to a live demo of the Attendant Console. So let's shift the picture and I go into a full screen view. So what I have here is the Computella Attendant Console application. And in order to log into it using, of course, Office 365 authentication, I also need to be logged into the Teams client. So Olivia Green is logged in here in the Teams client. This is where the Teams are actually happening, but the call control is done through the Computella agent client. Olivia Green, being logged in currently, of course, have the opportunity to change her status, either be available or go into pause mode. And if you had a look at the screen, it said that it came up with a warning saying that she was actually the only one being available for answering calls from the queue. Olivia is not the only agent logged into the solution right now. So if I look at all the queues through this queuing filtering, I would be able to see that a lot of other agents are also actually logged in currently. But today we will be doing calls on the support English queue, and on that particular queue, Olivia is alone to serve the calls. If Olivia would require to dial out, she has the option of choosing which queue number that she would like to show when she's doing an outbound call also. Over here, I have an ability to also monitor some users, some Teams users in the organization. And of course, I also do have some call control here. So if I would like to call directly, I can also actually do that. So we just remove that because we don't need it right now. So this area over here is for showing the agents and their availability. This area over here is to see the incoming calls from the queue. I have an area for the actual active call that I'm handling from inbound side, and I have a field for outgoing calls. So that would typically be if I do a consult transfer, I would then be able to see that call over here. But you'll see that when I start doing some calls. Further down, the top of the, sorry, the bottom of the screen is reserved for both directory search. So if I start searching for either topics, keywords, names, or departments, it will show the results based on what I type in here. When it says search or dial, it means that I'm using what we call the fuzzy search. So fuzzy search is sort of similar to Google search. So the more you write, the less search results you will see. Especially for large organizations, it's an advantage to be able to use more than one search field. If you have a lot of people that has the exact same name, it will give you the ability to search on other objects from the directory. The directory is, of course, fed and synchronized from Azure Active Directory. So I will now place a couple of calls just to show you how that looks into the queue. So we have the first call coming in, and it's served for Olivia Green, and we have the second call waiting in line. If I would like to answer the call, I just use the enter button on my numeric keyboard, and we can still see that we have the second call waiting in line. I now minimize the Computella Attendant Console agent and introduce you to James Lime, who is a Teams user that is currently logged in through the Edge browser in Microsoft Teams. So what we see is I'm connected to the caller. I also have the customer journey. So from this particular A number, when was that last served by an agent of this tenant, and who was it transferred to the last time. Here I also have click dial buttons either to do direct transfer or consult transfer, as well as I can see the actual details of the Teams user down here. Furthermore, if I would like to see the availability of Max, besides from that he's currently away, I can then click into his calendar. This is his Teams calendar, and his Microsoft Exchange calendar, and we can see that he actually does not have anything in his calendar today. So let's try and do a consult transfer to James. And I did that with the keyboard, and we can now see that James is being called over here on his Teams client. So I hang up this call, and I then receive a new call from the queue, which I'm now able to answer. And so we can here see that the last time that this particular phone number dialed in was at 12/7/17 today, and that was actually also transferred to James Lime. If I then would like to do a consult transfer to James, I can press the short key for that and do a consult transfer to James. I now speak to James, and he then might ask if there are, sorry, I need to mute some microphones here. So now I can present the caller to him and say, I have this particular caller that you spoke to the last time at 12/17 today. Would you like to speak to that particular caller again? And then James, he might ask a question, but is this call actually about the topic summer? And then I can toggle back to the original caller. I'm now connected to the original caller, and I can ask, is this still about the topic summer? And then I can revert to James and say, yes, James, it is about summer. Would you like to speak to the caller? I now then transfer the call to James. And now James and the original caller from the queue are connected. So just to show you also, of course, the short keys that I've been speaking about, they are available through the help menu, where you can see the different call commands that you can use. And for the typical call scenarios, you would use the numeric keyboard on a 128-stroke keyboard to actually handle the call. So it's 5 to 10 commands that the users would need to use. But of course, the mouse is also always a help, because it gives you the different options available to be able to transfer a call. Just one more scenario that I would like to show you. So a new call will come in soon. And now it's presented, distributed. And in this case, let's see if we can see currently that James Lime, he is currently still away from his Teams client. and I know that he would like to speak about summer of the latest call. So then I can try and see if I have some other agents or users that would like who has this actual skill. But then I remember that Max, he has also that particular skill. So then I can add a new keyword to Max. So we add summer here. I put it in. I add it to Max. I apply it, and I close it. And now I would like to, of course, show you that I can search for summer, and only Max is currently popping up. But what we can also see is, according to Max's calendar, that he will actually first be back at 3 o'clock. If I then would like to browse into Max's calendar, this is Max's Exchange calendar, then I can actually see his presence also from that. So since Max, he is currently away, I have the possibility to send an email to Max and ask him to call back to the original caller. And when I've done this, then of course Max will get back to the caller. So furthermore, if you as a company or organization work with external contacts, that could be external consultants working for you, it could be the local florist or the local taxi company, it is also possible to create and add new users, including external users, to the database. So if I add here the taxi, I fill in the number, I just copy it like this and like that, and I save it. So what happens is then that it synchronizes up to the database for this tenant in Azure, and I now try to make a call. Please bear with me. So what happens now? Excuse me. So much that. Okay. Well, this phone won't do the trick right now. It actually can't call this mobile phone that I'm trying to dial out from. I'll just proceed with the next part of the demo, which is how easily you can change a welcome message and create a holiday schedule. So let's move to that. So currently I'm logged into the management portal for the Computella communication suite. If I then go into the queue handling of it, and I go in and find the queue where I would like to change a welcome message, then I can do that. And I find the queue that I would like to see it on and do some changes on. Then I have the support English queue here. I go into the sound files, and if I then would like to upload a new announcement, then I can do that. I can of course also listen to the existing one. And as soon as I've done a change and press save, then it actually takes it into effect. Moving on to the schedules, meaning the opening hours as well as holidays. So if I would like to create a new schedule, I give it a name. So let's call this one summer. I could then add a description, and I then can choose if this is a global schedule or if it's only for a particular queue. Global schedule means that you can share schedules across many queues. And then I add the time zone of the queue. So let's go to +1. Yeah, like that one. And I've now added the summer one, which is right here. Then what I do is to go in and add the opening hours, and then I can set multiple days, so Monday to Friday, for instance, from 8 a.m. to, let's say, 5 o'clock. So now I have the opening hours. If I then would like to add some holidays, then I can do that, add a new holiday, and let's make a Christmas one, even though it's far, far away from now. I then go in and find the dates where this holiday takes effect and when it will end. So then be like this on the 26th of December. When is this then starting in the day? So that would be at 5 o'clock, and it will then end at midnight on the 26th of December. So now I've created a Christmas holiday schedule. If I then would like to add a specific holiday prompt, so it could be that you would like to, for instance, play jingle bells or similar before you give a welcome announcement and tell when you're back, then that is actually a possibility that you can choose to use. After that, I can go into the queue that I would like to add this holiday schedule to. So I go into the support English queue. I then go in and find my summer schedule and save it. And now the opening hours for that particular queue, as well as the Christmas holiday, is already planned. So
Lars?
that's, yeah, yes.
Sorry, I thought you were ready with this one. I just we had somebody with hawk eyes, and he said that the demo didn't work 100% because you only typed 7 numbers in the mobile number. So you know that.
Yeah, but I was actually dialing from the mobile phone to the queue, and so it's the network operator that seems to have a problem. I can of course try again.
Yeah,
No,
but continue with this one.
Yes.
And see
Thanks
then.
a lot. Thanks a lot.
Good.
Yeah. So I can, of course, what I could do is to, if we should create another user, we could add another user to the database and say this is Taxi City. And then we add another phone number because that's another network operator that I'm having on that mobile phone number. And like that, and I save it. So let's see if we are lucky now. If we can dial in. So it at least is, yeah, here it comes, Taxi City. So I can now receive the call from Taxi City, and if that call, for instance, was for James Lime, I could then go and start a chat with James and say, hi James, your taxi is ready. Click this one, I do like that, and I do like this. And we can see that James, he has a new chat over here. So one interface to handle calls and the possibility to also to invoke a chat from the Computella Attendant Console. Great. So that takes me back to the presentation and to speak a little bit about the roadmap. So what you have also been seeing today is actually a facelifted version of the Computella agent, as well as our management portal, and that is soon to be released here in June. We look forward to releasing it and hope that it will be well received in the market. We are also developing a new calendar integration for Microsoft Exchange Online, which uses the Microsoft Graph interface. Another new development is our Azure AD updated solution, which uses the SCIM protocol to synchronize users from Azure Active Directory. Is more flexible and it is faster. So our current synchronization runs, I think it's one time every 24 hours, and with the new one, it will run and harvest updates actually every hour. We are also adding more standard reports in terms of statistics for following up the quality performance and the workforce planning in the contact center. We have recently done the possibility to set presence on Teams users, and in the Nordic countries we have something called mobile presence from the service providers, where we can actually federate and set the presence on users, meaning that when they make a call from their mobile phone on their PSTN number, then they are actually shown as busy for other users in Teams. We have released the possibility for admins to support multiple tenants. So if you, for instance, are working for a big company with many branches or subsidiaries in many countries, then it gives you the possibility to have a global administrator that can actually administer multiple tenants. Also, what we have started working on, and which we should be finalizing because we have been working on this quite some time, is the PowerShell support. So the possibility for PowerShell administrators to actually do adds, moves, and changes in a Computella tenant through this command line interface. And then we, in the fall, will focus on getting our quality monitor with agent status to the market. We are also working with the development of both chat queues and mail queues, so that our solution in general will become more of an omni-channel suite. So just couple of screenshots of the facelifted version of the Attendant Console, as well as in this case the agent portal for the contact center work group. We have both done new icons and coloring and so on. So a good paintbrush have been working with this. When you would like to integrate your solution with your team solution with a Microsoft with a Computella communication suite, it's very easy, and the reason for that is that the Computella communication suite is integrated through the Extend model. So what is required on your side to integrate your Teams client to the Computella tenant is to register 5 apps in your Azure tenant. So it's a calling bot that actually handles the calls of the queues. It's an identity server app, a presence server app, an Azure user importer app, and an Azure calendar sync app. So basically, when a call comes into the queue of a tenant, then the bot, which is placed in your Azure, surveillances the resource accounts which are associated with the phone number of the queue, and it then communicates with the Computella tenant in Azure, and basically the Computella tenant, the call process is telling the bot what to do with the call: play a welcome announcement, play number in queue, for instance, or just hold messages or music on hold. So the advantage is that all calls are kept inside the Teams topology, and also it gives you the freedom to choose the different PSTN options that are available for Microsoft Teams, which are the Operator Connect the direct route, and the Microsoft calling plans. We are very happy for our reference customer on Teams International Business College. They had a cloud-first strategy, so they wanted to move all the communications IT to the cloud, and they were very happy for Microsoft Teams. And their old system was quite complex for the reception to use. The IT department spent a lot of time on updating the system and the administration. When they moved to the Computella tenants, they got some benefits, of course, that it's more simple and an intuitive interface, and there is almost no hands-on work required. So now the IT department can focus on actually supporting the business with processes and applications that can benefit their daily work. The solution is 2 attendant consoles, and they are approximately 400 Teams users and mobile users. That ends the presentation of the Competella Attendant Console. So if we have any questions, Sophia.
Of course we do. Yes. So the first one is the client available in a browser-based solution?
No, this client is a .NET-based app, so it means it's a Windows application. It comes with an installer, as well as you can, of course, distribute it as MSI packages. So the installer, of course, means click next, and then it's installed. And as soon as you sign in, and you have also been assigned as an agent, then you are able to log into it.
Okay, thank you. And then we have one more question. Do you have any plans for automated call processes with a bot? For example, get a choice from the caller to be routed to the last agent they talk to.
Yeah, it is definitely a part of our development plan, and since we have all the data available, then of course it should be quite easy for us to do. It is something in the feature parity of what we had on Skype for Business, because we had this feature and still do on Skype for Business, but it's not added to the cloud solution yet, but it's definitely on our roadmap.
Okay. Good.
Yeah. Other questions?
Do we have any more questions? No, I don't think so, actually. So
right.
we have one person I know who had to leave. Then the last thing is the survey. I've already sent it to everybody in the chat. So please, if you have not before, fill it in. Tell me and Lars what you thought, anything you would like to see in the future, any kind of demonstrations you would like to have in this one. And then also for those who haven't participated, we also do have a contact center introduction webinar, the same kind of format as this one. And the next one will be on August 25th. So if you want to participate in that one, you just mark that in the survey, or you can email me back directly. Otherwise, I think I say the contacts, or do you want to go through that, Lars?
Yes, of course, you are most welcome to contact both me and my colleagues. I'm heading the region outside the Nordic countries of Europe, and then we have specific country sales managers for both Sweden, Norway, and Denmark. And of course, we have Sophia, who is in charge of marketing and communication.
Yes. And with that, I think me and Lars would like to thank you all. As this is recorded, we will send this to you after the webinar. And thank you.
Thanks a lot for your participants.
Have a great day. Bye.
Bye.